Hey everyone. So today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most powerful AI tools out there, NotebookLM. We're going to see what's really going on under the hood when you ask it to create something for you. Because as you'll see, it's not just a single AI, it's more like a symphony. Okay, let's dive in.
So think about this for a second. You've got, I don't know, a really dense PDF, maybe a couple of articles you saved, or even a link to a YouTube video. You drop them all into a notebook, you click a few buttons, and suddenly, bam, you have a podcast, an explainer video, and a full slide deck. How? How does that actually happen? I mean, it really does feel like magic, but it's all about a pretty brilliant system design.
And right there, that's the secret. NotebookLM isn't one single giant brain that does everything. It's an entire orchestra of super specialized models. Each one is a virtuoso on its own instrument, and they're all working together. And the best part, as we're about to see, you're the one holding the conductor's baton.
Right, so every orchestra needs a composer, someone to write the music, and a conductor to lead. In this AI system, that role is played by one absolute powerhouse of a model. Its job is to read your documents, the sheet music, and figure out exactly how the final piece should be played. And that model is Gemini 1.5 Pro. You should think of it as the core reasoning engine for the whole operation. It doesn't just skim your documents, no way. It reads them deeply, it understands the subtle points, it pulls out the main arguments, and then it maps out the best way to tell that story, no matter what you want to create. It writes the foundational script that everything else is built on. But Gemini's job goes even deeper than that. It's basically the project manager. So first, it analyzes all your sources and finds that core narrative, the main story. Then, it decides on the best structure. Should this be a quick tutorial video or more of a deep dive documentary? And finally, and this is so important, it delegates. It sends out specific jobs to all the other specialist models in the orchestra.
Okay, so once Gemini has the master plan, it's time to call in the visual artists. The system has two different specialists it can call on, depending on what the project needs. Does it need a beautiful, data-packed illustration, or does it need a smooth, cinematic shot?
And here they are, the two key visual players. On one side, you've got Nano Banana. Think of it as the master illustrator, perfect for creating those clean, professional-looking infographics and charts. On the other side, there's Veo, who's like the cinematographer, generating that rich, high-quality video footage that really adds atmosphere and emotion to a project. Let's zoom in on Nano Banana for a sec. Its entire job is about aesthetic control and, crucially, accuracy. So if your document has sales data, it will create a chart based on that data. If you're describing a 5-step process, it creates an infographic showing those exact 5 steps. The point is, the visuals are never generic. They are custom built directly from your text. And then you've got VO. You know, sometimes a story just needs a mood, an atmosphere to really pull the viewer in. That's when VO steps in. It generates what is basically cinematic B-roll, like a moody, incredibly realistic shot of a train pulling into a foggy station. It brings that movie-like quality right when you need it most. Okay, so we've got our script and we've got our visuals. But what about the sound? Well, for any audio outputs, the orchestra brings in its final specialist, the voice. And the voice of this whole operation is a model called Chirp. This is the text-to-speech system that takes the script that Gemini wrote and turns it into really natural conversational audio. It's actually the secret behind that audio overview feature. It's so good, it sounds like two people having a real discussion about your source material. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The system isn't just taking your information and slotting it into some pre-made template. It's acting like a creative director. It's analyzing your unique content and then dynamically building the best possible teaching tools, whether that's a chart, a video, or a podcast, completely from scratch. So, now that we've met all the players in the orchestra, how do you actually conduct them? Let's get practical and walk through this simple, step-by-step process you can use to make all this happen. It all, and I mean all, starts with your sources. You can upload almost anything, PDFs, links, Google Docs, even YouTube videos. But look at this last point because it's the most important one. Vet. You have to be selective. The AI is only as good as the information you give it. So feeding it high-quality, relevant sources is the absolute key to getting high-quality results back. So listen, here's the crucial pro tip. You want to avoid the #1 mistake people make, which is just dumping like 40 random links and documents into a notebook. When you do that, the AI tries to make sense of everything at once, and the result is usually pretty generic.
Instead, you've got to be surgical. For any one task you're trying to do, pick just the 3 or 4 most relevant sources. I promise you, the quality of what you get back will skyrocket.
All right, once your sources are handpicked and ready to go, your command center is the studio panel. This is where you, the conductor, tell the orchestra what kind of masterpiece you want them to create.
And the range of what you can create is, well, it's kind of amazing. We're talking AI-powered podcasts, cinematic videos, full slide decks, custom infographics, and even study guides and quizzes. It is a complete content factory, all sitting right there at your fingertips, and it's all powered by the sources you chose.
And here's the final pro tip, and it's a big one. Don't just hit the main generate button. Always look for this little pencil icon. This opens up the settings, and this is where you can really guide the AI. You can tell it to make the audio overview a debate instead of just a summary. You can ask the video to focus on one specific theme from your documents. This is how you go from getting a good result to getting a truly great one.
So after seeing all these incredible, specialized models all working together in concert, it's kind of easy to forget the single most important member of the entire orchestra. And that, of course, is you. This whole system, this entire orchestra, is designed to be conducted. You're the one who curates the source material, you choose the final format, and you provide the specific creative direction. These AI models are unbelievably powerful instruments for sure, but you're the one who guides them to create something amazing and brand new.
Which brings us to the final thought here. Now that you know about the reasoning engine, the illustrator, the cinematographer, and the voice, all of them just waiting for your direction, what's the first thing you would create? A deep dive video on some super complex topic? A podcast that debates different sides of an issue? The possibilities are pretty fascinating to think about. Thanks so much for tuning in.